sir.
Okay, so we have quite a number of interesting things to talk about this afternoon. Last week, we were having a topic, and with Messi Adedoku, you could not conclude that 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
But then, today we'll continue exactly from where she stopped 2 weeks ago. Now, 2 weeks ago, you talked about overview of criminal justice reform. You talked about sentencing and incarceration, police and law enforcement reform. You also talked about rehabilitation and recidivism. Today, we'll be talking about equity in the legal system. That's exactly what we'll be talking about this wonderful afternoon. Barrister, when we talk about equity in the legal system, what exactly does that mean? Because let's talk about the meaning and then we'll delve straight into the body of that particular topic.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes. When we talk about equity, or we should put it like equality in the system, that's whereby everyone is equal. And in law or in the judicial system, everyone is equal before the law. There's no one above the law. Even if you are the wealthiest person presently in Nigeria, you are also the same before the law, like someone that is in Ibadan. So that's just the plain meaning of equity.
Okay, so basically, you have spoken about equity, equality. But then, if we are to look into this particular topic very well, we know in some quarters we have, in some cases, people racially profile some people. In some cases, there is economic biases. You know, some they have and they have not. But then, this has created a wide gap between these two categories of people. Then, if one finds himself in a case where, let's say, he was racially profiled or economically profiled, let me put it that way. Take for example the recent case of a National Assembly member that actually attacked a Bolt or Uber driver just because he felt he was not given the kind of respect he deserves. How do you address that if you find yourself in that kind of situation? If people at home find themselves in that kind of situation, how do they go about it? Don't forget, this the system really gives priority to some people than the other people. So if you find yourself in the position of that Uber driver, what do you do?
Yes, like I did told my colleagues. I said the first step the Uber driver has to take, and you can see that a legal practitioner has taken it up, wrote a petition immediately, and we can see what the that present member of the National Assembly is facing presently. So we see that this shows that it's even in line with our topic. There is equality before the law. Just know your right. When you know your right, you know what to do. And the boat driver was not intimidated. He did everything in accordance to the law. And we see what the legal practitioner that is taking up his case did immediately. There was a petition
Filed
written
a petition immediately.
immediately, and the House of Assembly member has been is presently on probe, whereby he issued what was it called? He issued
Public
a
apology,
public apology.
released a statement.
Yes. So people were now asking if these things were not caught on camera, what would have happened to the boat driver?
I was about to ask that question. Let me put it this way. In case someone finds himself or herself in that situation and there is no video evidence of what happened, what will happen to that particular person? Is it a case of let's forget about it? There's nothing you can do.
That's why I said you have to know your right. When something like that happens, the first thing you have to do, or the first step you have to take, is you have to head to the police station.
Report the case.
Report the case, since it's still fresh, and you won't be able to miss any iota of
truth and
truth
the
or
way
evidence.
you report it.
You will report it directly to the security operative, and after that, the security operative, especially the police, which we call police is always our friend. So from there the police will take it up, and if you are not sure, or if you don't have trust in the police, the best thing to do is go to your lawyer after reporting it. Get a lawyer. We have so many committees in the Nigerian Bar Association that takes cases on pro bono, free of charge.
Free of charge.
Go to them for this. Explain your predicament to them. They will help you out. So after that, because you don't have trust in the police, go to them. They will know what to do in that regards by filing a petition on your behalf. Follow up in the investigation. Ensure that the investigation is carried out properly. So that's just the way to go about it. If there's no video evidence, and if there's a video evidence, that's a surplusage on your side.
All right. This issue of racial abuse is not too common in Africa, if I may put it that way. It's just one thing that so many people don't really want to look in that direction. Though it happens, but we don't see it that way, just because most people do not know if they are being profiled or not. Now, how do you know if you are being profiled based on your tribe, your religion, or whichever way you are being profiled? How do you know as a person that this person is trying to profile me and I'm being streamlined in that way?
Okay. Yes, the Constitution of Nigeria actually going against discrimination
of any kind.
Of any kind.
Okay.
So whereby you have someone that, how do people know if they are being profiled? One of the steps, or one of the very salient points that we know is that the way they address you,
okay,
is actually one. And two, the way you relate to them will actually bring this into play, if you are being profiled or not.
Okay. All right. Let me now ask this last question based on equity and in the legal system. How do racial and economic biases manifest in the legal system? That is one. And what can be done to address them in totality?
All right. I won't know if there's
a way.
There's any economical bias in the system, yeah. Because before the law, everyone is equal, like I said.
Until you realize you are not equal. I'm just putting it that way. Everyone is equal according to the Constitution.
Yes.
But then at the point you get to realize
even someone that is brought to court for murder, is still innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So you are still equal with people that are outside. Even those presently at the correctional center, they have certain rights that they maintain.
Okay.
Fundamental right that they maintain in that incarceration.
Okay.
So basically equality is before the law. You are not being profiled on you coming from the east, and you are tried in a state like Oyo State.
Okay.
So I don't believe there is racial discrimination or economical discrimination in our judicial system. Even recently, the Nigerian Bar Association raised Ibadan branch raised a motion whereby the picture of the governor was placed in court. They raised a motion that this should not be, because we have several citizens having issues, having matters in court against the state government. With that we stand as intimidation. So this is a sign that the legal profession, or the lawyers in our states, in our country, are actually working towards ensuring equality
in all areas.
Yes, in all areas.
All right. Thank you so much for shedding light on that particular one. Basically, before we go on a short commercial break, I would love to delve into this particular topic.
Okay.
There's this issue of reporting missing items.
Okay.
Especially complimentary cards, if you misplace them. There has been issues of finding people's complimentary cards in the wrong places and then getting them into trouble, especially complimentary cards, ATM cards, SIM cards. If one finds himself in situations like this, let's say you lost any of these items, what is the next thing to do? What are the steps to follow?
All right. The first thing you have to do is report the missing item at the nearest police station.
Okay.
After that, you can file an affidavit of lost.
Let me get that. Let me get that straight.
Okay.
After you have reported at the police
Yes.
station,
Yes.
that is the very
Yes,
first step.
you file an information
You
there.
file an information there
Yes.
that I want to notify you at the police station that these items are missing and
Yes.
they belong to me.
Yes.
Then you go straight to the court.
To the court to get an affidavit of loss.
Wow. Then after that,
You are settled.
you
for
are
the
settled. So if any case comes up after all these things, I witnessed a case I think yesterday of someone whose SIM card was, her phone got lost, but her SIM card was later inserted to a phone that was stolen in a robbery case, and then that SIM card was traced back to her. She actually retrieved that SIM card and then inserted into a new phone, and she was traced, and then she was arrested. Now she did not report at the police station. She has no affidavit that the SIM card got lost, but then she retrieved that SIM card. Shouldn't the NCC make it compulsory that part of the documents you need for you to retrieve a SIM card that got lost is that you need an affidavit, just to save people from this kind of situation?
Yes, I believe there are regulations like that.
Okay.
Because severally,
But people still get SIM cards even when they say it's lost, and then they just retrieve and there is no documentation of any sort.
we know.
Once you can prove that that SIM card belongs to you, then they retrieve the SIM card for you.
Yes, this is something the NCC should take into consideration.
Okay.
They should put it forward when people, because Nigerians, let me say we Nigerians,
Okay.
because I'm also a Nigerian.
It's better you put it that way.
Yes, we Nigerians, we like going the easy route.
Easy route. Okay.
When the steps are hard, we complain. So, but if the steps are the right steps, I don't complain.
Because they are the norms.
Because these are the usual things that we should do as if you are taking any step, any route. If it's the right one, I go with it 100%.
All right, let's move to another topic today, because we need to really work on this particular one. And that one we are talking about is juvenile justice in the country. What exactly is the fate of juveniles in this country? Because juvenile justice system has been criticized for treating young offenders too harshly. And how do you think the system should be reformed to better handle youth offenders in the system and the space we have found ourselves?
All right. The first point I'm going to make in regards to this is that we don't have enough juvenile correctional centers in Nigeria.
Okay.
So, and this is causing harm to the
juveniles.
To juveniles there. This has made them start mixing up with adults. And this
they get influenced.
This changes their mindset.
Yeah.
So the essence of correctional service or correctional centers in Nigeria is to try to correct, because last time I was here, I talked about how the constitution changed the name from Nigeria Prison Service to Nigeria Correctional Service. So this is just a way to show that you are not incarcerated for like you are condemned. You are not condemned. You are just there
rehabilitation
to let you know that what you did was wrong, and you have to change in several ways. So if our prisons, if our correctional centers, sorry for the word prison, if our correctional centers are overpopulated, the effectiveness of the correction of the essence of correctional centers
will be defeated.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and this is affecting our juvenile system as well, because the young ones are going in and coming out with so much hatred for the system.
They go in soft and they come out as hardened. Some of them as hardened criminals.
Yes, and they have the tendency of going back there in few months.
The tendency of
going
returning to where they come
from,
just because of the influence they have received on the other end.
Yes.
All right, let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back after this time out. We are still talking about juvenile justice in the country. We'll be back.
working for health, for fun, or for the love of honor. This is your event. Together we'll make strides toward a healthier and stronger tomorrow. Don't miss the chance to be part of something bigger. Invite your friends, family, and colleagues. Lace up your sneakers and let's walk together with honor. Remember, December 7th, 2024. Walk with Honor 2.0. Stay tuned to Honor 103.5 FM for updates. Let's make this walk unforgettable. 103.5 FM.
Ni bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni gọ́níyà fíjì ìròyìn tó àmójúbà gbogbo aláfẹ́ ayé tó dé Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites ló ń ròyìn wípé ìgbádùn sodo síbì kan ju bì kan lọ. Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites, elegantly and centrally located in a secured and serene environment. Our facilities include cozy rooms and suites, spacious event and conference hall. Our restaurant serves delicious intercontinental and local cuisines, while our bar is stocked with all kinds of assorted drinks. Ní Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites, iná wa kì í ṣẹ́jú nígbà kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ètò ààbò gbópọn falala lẹ́ẹ̀ma lo Wi-Fi ọ̀fẹ́ láì níkọ̀sẹ̀. There is also laundry service and fully equipped gym. Seeing the say is believing. Visit Subcam Hotel and Suites today at Plot 3, Mechanic Scheme, opposite New Garage, off Ijebu-Ode Expressway, Ibadan, Nigeria. Telephone 090-6466-7569 and 090-4821-8600. Subcam Leading Hotel and Suites. In hospitality, we lead.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. The show is still Legal Diaries on 103.5 FM. Samson Balogun is my name. And of course, I have with me in the studio barrister Timileyin Victor Olatunbosun. He is a junior associate at Adekola Karim and Co. in Ibadan. And of course, he's also the assistant secretary, Young Lawyers Forum, Ibadan. We were talking about juvenile justice in the country. Now, what are the primary laws, regulations governing juvenile justice in Nigeria?
All right. We have the first law is quote and unquote the Nigerian Constitution.
Okay.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. So, and it was further amended 2023. That was last year. Okay. So it's still on point. Then secondly, we have the Administration of Criminal Justice Act. Okay. In the country, some other states uses that as law. Administration of Criminal Justice Law. That's okay. ACJL for ACJL. Them. Then ACJA for us. So and we also have other like we have the Indian Act, okay, which discusses about juveniles as well. It talks about their proceedings. Also, we have almost all laws covers juvenile.
Let me now ask you this question: How does the Nigerian juvenile justice system define a juvenile, and what is the age range before they can say this person will be treated under juvenile system? Okay,
under the Criminal Procedure Act, it is defined as someone between below the age of 17.
Below the age of 17.
So, but we have now whereby we believe a juvenile should be someone that has not come of age at all.
Okay.
Has not come of age at all. So that's
So, what now are the roles of the police, social welfare, and judiciary in handling juvenile cases in the country?
All right. When we're handling juvenile cases, especially in the judiciary, there are some angles, there are some aspects that we have to look into. A juvenile must not be mixed up with adults.
Okay.
So, and there are some instances whereby a juvenile, when they are hearing a juvenile matter, it has to be in almost an empty court.
Okay, where there is
virtually
empty.
Yes, or the face of this juvenile is covered.
It's covered. Okay.
Just to protect this juvenile from the likes of the reporters.
Future the stigma.
So that yes, even whereby the juvenile is not proven guilty
yet.
So the matter is dismissed and acquitted. This juvenile is free from stigma.
Okay.
Yes, this is what the law provides for. And as well, the police. When police are to handle juvenile matters, the police have to have a separate.
I was about to ask that if they have any right in detention.
Yes, everyone has a right in detention, but the juvenile, they have a special right because they have not come of age.
Okay.
So there are special places for them. That's why we even have the juvenile correctional center. They are not to be mixed up in the likes of the maximum correctional center, the minimum correctional center.
All right. Now, let me now ask this question. I think it is quite important. What are the alternatives to detention for juvenile offenders? Is there any alternative to detention?
Well, there is alternative. There's always alternative. Even the courts approves alternative dispute resolution.
Okay.
So it depends on the crime that was committed or the offense that was committed.
All right. Wow, you have really talked so much about juveniles in the country right now. But then, lastly on this case, let me wrap two questions into one for you. What are the key differences between the treatment of juvenile and adult offenders? You mentioned it, but then I want you to be a little bit more explicit about the way you put it out there.
Okay. All right. The differences. Let's place it like this. There's a juvenile correctional center. There is the maximum correctional center, which is for adult, and the juvenile is for people that are not of age.
Okay.
So, whereby in these different places, the main reason why these places are different is to ensure that these people that have not come of age are put in good place.
Okay.
So that when they still have so many things to offer the society. So when they come back to the society, they do well, they flourish.
Because they have been repackaged, retrained, given reorientation.
There are some of these juveniles that still write. They write WAEC
exams, even
while they are at the correctional center.
Okay.
So and they learn vocational skills there. So when they come out into the society, they have something to offer.
Okay.
Instead of the probability of them going back
to what they used to do.
Yes.
That brought them in.
Yes. There are several foundations that have started looking into this. I won't mention the name of the foundation.
That's better.
Yes, because I actually volunteered for the foundation. Of last year, we were at a correctional center whereby we saw so many inmates there.
Okay.
Some of them showed interest that they intend to write exams, which the foundation has taken it up to take over these expenses.
Okay.
Even the vocational skills, the foundation has made several plans that the people that are so good in these skills will be taken into the correctional center to tutor these people some days in the week.
Okay.
So there are several opportunities for inmates there, so that when they come out, they will have a life after life.
Entirely. All right. I said lastly the other time, but I have one more question on this particular issue. Now it concerns everybody, and not just the judicial system or the police and the likes. What role do families and communities play in preventing juvenile delinquency in Nigeria?
All right. Yes. The roles. Well, it starts from the family.
That's the question. We want to know exactly what roles they should be playing to
Starts-
avoid all this.
It starts from the family. We can see that the increase of crimes in Nigeria is on the rise. That's why we see the correctional facilities cannot contain the increase in crime rates in Nigeria. So while I said it starts from the family, is because the family are the ones that gets in touch with this juvenile
Okay.
from their very inception, whereby when they were conceived.
Okay.
So they are the ones that teach that are to teach,
train them.
tutor them into becoming great persons, into becoming people that abide to laws and orders, morally right. So this is the first step. Then it now comes to the teachers.
Okay.
That's the schools, the institutions.
schools, yeah.
Because after the early years of a person, he has to be with his parents for about 3 years without going anywhere. But from 3 upward, he will be in school, in institutions. So these ways, the teachers has to look into these into the children, so that they start imparting good values. And we know children learn directly from adults. It's
Especially
what
people they see often and
often they believe that this is the right way to go about things, because my teacher does this, because my father does this. Let's look at violence, for example.
They automatically see them as role models.
Yes. And this is something that we as a society have to fight against. And also, the government has a major role to play. The rate of unemployment is causing crime rates to increase in Nigeria.
When you are too free, you tend to think about crime.
And there's a saying that an idle hand is a devil's workshop.
Now, let me ask you this question before we go on this short commercial break. I have a question from Cousin Isa Ayomo. He says, when a boy or 7-year-old steals, who will be responsible for the penalty of stolen property?
Okay. The boy of 7 years old,
Yes,
he is still a juvenile.
a juvenile.
But that does not mean that he is exempted from getting the punishment deserved for
he
it.
deserves. So he's not going to be exempted. He's still going to serve that punishment.
He's not going to be exempted. But however, there is actually a law that says that a person from the age of 12 below cannot have a carnal mind. A carnal mind. That's for the terms of rape and co.
Okay.
So if he falls under this aspect, then it will be looked into in depth.
Okay. Special investigation.
Special investigation will actually have to go into that.
All right. All right. Let's go pay some bills. Let's go on a short commercial break. When we return, I have a few more questions for you on the show this wonderful afternoon. The show is still Legal Diaries with Samson Balogun, standing in for Mercy Adedoku on this one. We have several comments here. When you're there, Omokure, Agumbe Ade Sheriff is also there. Abdulatif Shitu, all the way from Benin Republic, says, Captain, well done. Okay, thank you so much. And then we have a question from Kasim Isayomo, which we took earlier. We'll go pay some bills, and when we return, Legal Diaries continues on 103.5 FM. We'll be back.
On the 103.5 FM.
Do you need a reliable and super fast unlimited internet for your business and home use? If yes, iWorld Networks is your solution with our uptime affordable internet via fixed broadband. No data caps and throttling. You can enjoy your distance learning, business meetings, and family time with our reliable internet. With 24/7 proactive customer support and 99.8% uptime. We also provide connectivity for offices, schools, financial services, hotels, government, etc. Chat with us on www.iwn.ng. iWorld Networks, we've got you covered. Sign up and get connected today.
This is your radio. Unless we make broadcasting accountable, it is going to be very hard to change anything else for the better in our society. That is why all established and aspiring broadcasters are enjoined to join Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB, the only legally recognized professional body for broadcasters in Nigeria. Registered since 1994. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, ìjọba ti wá rọ̀ Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, SMB lágbára láti issue operational license fún gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú ìtọ̀sẹ̀ tó tọ́. SMB has successfully gone through all the different stages of becoming law. Àjẹpẹ́ fún ẹnikẹ́ni láti rẹ́sẹ̀ walẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó ní láti jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB. Join now and be glad you did. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ láti dọmọ ẹgbẹ́ SMB, ẹ pè alábòjútó National Coordinator Dr. Yemisi Bangbose lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ 0803-331-5256 or better still visit www.smb.com.ng. Be fulfilled as a broadcaster. Join SMB.
On 103.5 FM.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. The show is still Legal Diaries on 103.5 FM. And of course, you have been hanging out with Samson Balogun. Alright, we have in the studio this afternoon who has been doing justice to your questions in the studio, Barrister Timileyin Victor Olatunbosun. He's a junior associate at Adekola Karim & Co. and also the assistant secretary to Young Lawyers Forum, Ibadan. All right, you can also be a part of the conversation. You send your comments to our Facebook page, Honor 103.5 FM, Ibadan. All right, you can also call the studio line, 09135 001035. 09135 001035. That's the studio line to call to join the conversation this afternoon. If you have any questions for Barrister Timileyin Victor Olatunbosun, who is in the studio with me this afternoon, those are the studio lines to call, 09135 001035. Lastly, on today's show, we are on the last lap of this show this afternoon. I would like to ask you this question, and it's based on the future of criminal justice reform. If you could implement one major reform today, then what would that be and why?
All right, if I could implement just one major reform,
Yes.
that would be to empower the judiciary more,
Okay.
because the judiciary is the last hope of all citizens, and this is something that we've been clamoring for years.
Yes.
For years, even while the people are told that the judiciary are independent, there are still some instances whereby the judiciary
Are still dependent
on the government, and this is something we would like to continue to
correct.
clamor more and more, and this is the major reform I would do.
All right. There's this question that is a little bit. We have to look at it so much. How can the average person in Nigeria get involved in supporting criminal justice reform efforts in the country?
Okay.
Individuals.
Yes. Well, the first way whereby you can get involved in it is to ensure you are an upright citizen of the country, whereby your morals, you abide to the law and order of the country. This is the first way whereby you can do this.
First of all, you have to be upright as
Yes.
a person.
Yes, because he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So you can't have a stain on your hands and still be clamoring for a change.
Okay.
So this is the first step to go about it.
Okay. All right. How effective is the administration of Criminal Justice Act (ACJA) 2015 addressing delays in the judicial process in the country?
All right. It's actually doing a lot,
Okay.
because the criminal justice presently is actually working faster than before.
It used to be.
Than it used to
Because
be.
there has been cases where postponement of cases, adjourning cases, and the likes, and then you realize the fact that even the criminal that is being tried, they said the accused who is being tried will eventually spend maybe more than the jail time he would have spent while he's being tried.
Yes, that's why
now you want now answer this question into two. Let's say someone who is meant to be jailed for 5 years,
Okay.
for example, and then while the case is being dragged, was prolonged to about 7 years before he was tried. What will happen in such situation?
Okay, in such situation, whereby someone is there for 5 years.
Yes, was meant to be be sentenced to, let's say, 5 years.
If he was guilty.
Yes.
So what should happen is there are several clamors to the director of public prosecution
Okay.
to continually work. They are working,
Okay.
but they should continually work so that legal advices can be out in time.
In time. Okay.
And severally we've talked about the provision of the ACJ, whereby it talks about remand. You can only remand, that's a magistrate court,
Okay.
or a court of inferior jurisdiction can only remand for 14 days at first,
Okay.
then an additional 14 days if there is a good cause
To do
that in the course of investigation.
Okay.
And if not, we've severally clamored that the police or the security operative don't take matters that are of capital offences, because all offences are bailable.
Okay.
Don't take matters that are of capital offences, don't take them to lower courts.
Lower courts.
Take them to the proper court that has jurisdiction. Let them assume jurisdiction immediately. So, but this keeps happening, and we've continually filed for dismissal of cases like this.
Okay. Now, if it eventually happens, a person has been remanded for, let's say, 5 years, and eventually, when the case was when the legal advice came out, which is after the whole court session, and then they realized that it was meant to be there for, let's say, 5 years, and it's been there for, let's say, 7 years. Now, what will happen to the person in question?
Yes, the person in question have actually advised persons like that. If this is the situation of things,
it will just be told, now you can start going on because you have served your jail term.
Yes, that's how it is.
Okay.
Because you've served, the court will put into consideration of how long you've been there.
All right.
And in several instances, there are legal practitioners that take up this matter they take up the matter as fundamental human rights cases.
Okay.
So this is what we do.
So the said victim can now sue the court.
Yeah, no, not the court. You can't sue the court. Okay. You will sue the government.
Sue the government.
He's
been
about 2 years
extra.
You charge them.
Okay.
And if the legal advice is out after that 5 years, or you're supposed to spend 5 years, it is when you are not guilty when the legal advice is out.
Okay.
The legal advice only states if the court, if the prosecution should go ahead with the matter.
All right.
And also, I would like to shed light on the question that was earlier asked about 7 years.
7 years.
Okay. A child below 7 years cannot be held liable for any act or omission committed by him or her.
All right. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I have had with me Barrister Timileyin Victor Olatunbosun, a junior associate with Adekola Karim and Co. in Ibadan. And of course, he's also the Assistant Secretary, Young Lawyers Forum, Ibadan. Thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you
this
very
afternoon.
much for having me.
All right, a fantastic time to draw the curtains on today's edition of Legal Diaries on 103.5 FM. You have been hanging out with Samson Balogun. Next week, same time, same date, same program. Bye for now. We are out.